It's tabletop time!
I'm Jazza from Draw with Jazza.
I'm Shad from I Am Shad.
I'm Rob.
And I'm just Mac.
Lean on the table.
It's Daggers!
We're going to go through a rule system for our role-playing game. It's pre-alpha. It's, sort of still in the works, and when it's alpha, it's going to be free for you guys to play. It's along the lines of games like Dungeons & Dragons and Burning Wheel in the sense that it's role-playing, but it's kind of our own sort of take on it. So, Rob and Mackie, do you want to share your thoughts on what role-playing is? Because these guys have just started playing with us. They did a mini-campaign with us, but they previously haven't had any sort of role-play experience.
Okay, do you want to take it this time?
No, you did well. I insist.
Okay, well, I don't think I'll be able to do the same description I did before, which I thought was pretty good. But basically, yeah, me and Rob haven't played any D&D type stuff, so this was pretty easy to pick up. It's more narrative-based as opposed to stat-based. And yeah, I think it was just a lot easier to get into than trying to learn all the complex rules of Dungeons and Dragons and those sorts of games, I guess.
Cool. And people who have played games like Dungeons and Dragons know that it's very numerical. You have a certain amount of hit points. There are a lot of kind of calculations when it comes to armor class and hit points and stuff. So our system, like Mackie said, is much more narrative focused. So how do the dice work, Shad?
I am glad you asked, Jazza. Let me explain that right now. We work from D6s. It's a D6 based system. Everything above 3, so 4, 5 and 6 is considered a success. That was a fail. So anything below 3, 2 and 1 is a fail. Every player has a base of 3 dice to begin with, and then depending on their character stats, they would get an additional one. So let's pretend Joss is a character.
Hi, I'm a character.
He is a character. Anyway. And he wants to climb a wall this time. He's going to try and climb a wall.
I would like to climb a wall.
And so put the dice back.
Let's go to the tree.
He has a base of 3. Let's say he has 1 in strength, so I'll get 1 added. Yeah. He has the skill climb 1, and so
that's good.
There you go. He's got 5 dice to roll with. That's
in theory, I'm an adept climber.
And
I say to our narrator, I would like to climb a wall.
I would say, well, do you have any equipment that will assist you in climbing that wall?
My hands.
Your hands? Okay, so you're not getting any assist. So your challenge level to climb this wall and get to the top without incident, key point incident, doesn't mean that he might fail, is 3. I was thinking 3.
Yeah. Okay, cool. So that
don't influence
3 is a specialised task. So it's actually usually quite difficult, but because I have climb and strength, I'm more adept at it than others. I make my roll, and I actually failed. Okay. I have 2 success dice and 3 failure dice. So how do failures work in a game?
Now, in a regular role-playing game, generally if you fail, it would just say you don't succeed in climbing a wall or you fall down and, you get an injury of some type. We try and use what we call narrative-based failure. And so this is a different system in that Joss wanted to get to the wall without incident, sneaking into, say, a castle or whatever. And so that's what he wanted, and if he fails with a narrative-based fail, it doesn't work. So when he reaches the top, he runs into a guard. Or the wall he's climbing falls over and crashes someone on the other side. And I would do that if he got, if he didn't succeed with any.
Yeah.
That's a terrible fail.
And of course there are you could go with failures that are narrative-based, but there are also just that you didn't get to...
Sometimes just to keep game
your road
moving along
snaps and things like that. So that's basically how challenge levels work in terms of having an objective. So when you are actually against an opponent, someone else who can oppose your role, it works a little differently.
Well, not very. What it is
the same. It works exactly the same.
Is that
there's no difference.
Both players calculate their dice the exact same way. Base of 3.
Just use different colour. Use the green.
We're going to use a different colour.
Use the blue.
So base of 3 plus whatever skills they have. So let's say they got, whatever.
So let's say I'm going to lie to Mackie. I want to say my shirt is white.
That's not a good example.
No, it's not. Let's just say in my pocket I actually have the answer to your question. There. Something like that. Mm-hmm. Deep in my pocket, reach in if you dare. So I have my base of 3 dice, and let's say I have 1 point in intelligence, which is the base statistic of deception, and a point in deception. So again, another roll of 5, and I make my roll.
Ooh.
I actually only got 1 successful dice, in which scenario his challenge level is 1.
So now all he has to beat is 1 to...
Wow! So what are your stats? You have your base of 3 dice and what?
Well, wait,
oh my god!
Smashed
So there you go,
right?
4. Yeah. So even though in theory I have more dice than him, I'm more likely to succeed and deceive him. It can totally work in the opposite way as well. So the idea is you want as many dice as you can get to increase your chances, but it can also turn on its head. So it really does make things quite fun. And there are times where like our characters come close to death, and it makes it all that more scary, because if you die, like if you fail your roll, you know, like it's much more likely that you could fail your roll.
Now this
is kind of a basic overview,
and this is how combat works. When you're fighting someone, one roll is an attack and one stands as defense, and the challenge levels go against each other. And the entire system does not vary much from this basic mechanic. This is the mechanic of the game. There are situations that necessitate extensions to those rules, like how would starships work or whatever, because we're in a sci-fi setting for one. They don't vary too much. This is really the game.
Okay, now this is a very familiar dice for people who play tabletop role-playing games. As Rob has reminded me, there's this thing that we are tentatively calling the Chaos Roll. Shad has a big dice too.
No, wait. I got the big dice before Jazza, and he copied me. He wanted to get a...
Rob, how does a Chaos Roll work?
A Chaos Roll is generally up to the narrator to decide when to use it, but for the most part we've been using it if you're searching for something...
Rare?
Can I reference when we...
Yeah, absolutely, yeah.
Okay, so in our last campaign, we needed to find
That's a good example.
an aeroplane to sneak away from. What we ended up rolling, and we got a 20, and basically...
So the Chaos Roll was 20. Anything high on the Chaos Roll dice is good for the party. Yeah. Anything low is very bad for the party. So in this scenario, and keep in mind, in the whole campaign so far, they'd gotten very bad Chaos Rolls. So they got in really bad situations. And then there's one Chaos Roll when they were looking for an aeroplane, got a 20, and they got like this massive military craft with all the stuff on it they wanted, plus like mini nukes.
Arguably the most important role of the game.
Yeah, it is arguably, like, as far as dictating randomly how the narration goes, this dice is very important. So that's kind of an overview.
Can I just add something with the Chaos Roll?
Yeah,
what it takes away is narrator bias, because there are a lot of situations in the game where the players are going to do something, and it's going to be up to the narrator as to what to put in place. That can be a very biased thing, because they can put in things that'll help the player or not. Well, what this does is completely randomizes that aspect of the narrative, so it's completely random. It could be terrible for players, it would be great.
It's actually quite helpful. I found as a narrator in that campaign, if they were about to walk around a corner, rather than thinking, okay, what do they come across, I make a Chaos Roll, and then I think, they come across something bad.
It also means, like, if it's something terrible, you can't blame the narrator for being a jerk. It's the dice.
So there are more things to the rule system. Of course, there are specific stats and attributes and things like that. And if you check out a video on a campaign on character creation, you will learn a bit about that. But that basically summarizes the system, and you can watch any of our roleplay sessions and get the basic idea based on how those D6 rolls work and the Chaos rolls work. And then any more detail we'll release with the alpha itself, and then also go into detail in character creation and stuff. So I guess that'll do for
that's it. If you understand that and just hold on to that simple mechanic, you'll understand most of this system that Joss and myself have made.
Cool. So thanks for joining. Have a good one, guys.
See ya.